Network Rail is a public service. We provide services both to the travelling public, to freight users, and often forgotten, to line-side neighbours. It's 5 million line-side neighbours. The nature of the work that we do in track, we work a lot of nights, we work a lot of weekends, and those line-side neighbours can get disrupted by light, dust, noise.
Network Rail's social performance strategy sets out 10 themes that look at the way that we can add value to local communities living and working around the British Railway. In particular, being a caring neighbour is one of those themes, which thinks about how we can improve our work with line-side neighbours during periods of disruption, and also making sure that we're creating social value through our works.
So in track, most of our projects have the potential to cause nuisance, particularly in urban and residential areas. Noise is the most common source of nuisance found, however we have to be careful to also manage dust and lighting impacts that can shine bright lights through residents' windows. This is not just important from a reputational perspective in terms of preserving Network Rail's status as a caring neighbour, but also to reduce potential fines and prosecutions, and also project delays in more serious cases.
I look after the National Helpline, and we receive around 4,000 complaints every year about the work that we carry out. About a third of those relate to the noise that we're making, personal noise as well as machinery noise, and the fact that people haven't received any notification. And around a third of those, a third more, are related to the behaviour of our workers themselves.
When we arrive on site, we tend to slam doors and make a lot of noise. When we're working on site, we tend to shout and swear a lot. And when we leave, we tend to leave a lot of rubbish. We could make a massive reduction in those complaints if we focus on those three areas. Over the last couple of years, we've been delivering training across all routes to improve worker behaviour, which is called Being a Good Neighbour training, and that's also available on Safety Central.
From the very earliest stages of project development, we're in a unique position to be able to identify who local line-side neighbours and businesses are that could be affected by our track renewal activities. They could be affected from things like dust, noise, vibration, or even traffic and parking. We're then able to set in place mitigation to manage the risks to these really important stakeholders, and also to start speaking to them and to keep them informed of our activities.
If you're doing some work that might be difficult, you could think about doing a drop-in session, potentially in a local town hall or a local scout hut, and that can also help reduce complaints.
So here at Euston, like many places along the railway, we've got line-side neighbours right beside us. We've had to reach an agreement with the local council to be as quiet as we can at night. This is called a Section 61. And as part of that, we give line-side neighbours letters notifying them of any works. We also use different methodologies, including radios on site and quieter machines, which means that people get a better night's sleep.
At the S&C Alliance South Coalesce Rail, we found that proactivity works extremely well. We have engaged and we carry out innovative Section 61 pre-assessments very early in our programme, 12 to 18 weeks out. That helps us to focus and find what the key areas are in terms of concerns for noise. We then work with our construction teams to eliminate those wherever possible, and where we can't, we'll then introduce more noise sensitive equipment such as super silent generators, LED lighting, solar powered lighting and hydrogen fuel cell lighting. These all help to bring our controls in and our mitigation down. In addition, we also found that early engagement with the local authorities, environmental health officers, works massively well for us, and that helps us to enable us to have clear and controlled Section 61 applications that eliminate any last minute changes.
So here at Euston, we're very much in the public eye. Our railway is below ground level from the nearby residents, meaning that there's an opportunity to always be looking down on us like an amphitheatre. To combat the risks of noise, and our engineering works on night times over the weekends, we have our whiteboard briefings on a Thursday, which identify the key risks. We brief out to keep noise at a minimum, to use radio communication, not to shout.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know how it's important for everyone to keep your noise to the minimum as you're working very close to the neighbours. No shouting, do not drop heavy tools from height, no engine idlers, no unnecessarily horn from the machineries.
All right, sustainability, exciting, yes, but shh. Can you hear it? That's battery powered. So a lot of our sites now are moving towards battery powered to reduce the noise for our neighbours, because it's really important to recognise the environment that we're working in. And talking about the environment, this is a Sentry box. Yes, this is something that captures video, photos of the way that our sites are working, so you can analyse, do some lean analysis of the way people are working. But also, this is capturing humidity, temperature, but more importantly for us, noise and also dust. So we can see how we're doing in live time on site. That's what we're doing to improve our sustainability.
On the railway we use a lot of ballast. This can cause dust, especially in dry weather. We need to try and reduce the impact for both our workforce and for the line-side neighbours. We can do this by damping down the ballast before we get it, and also looking at how we dump it on site so that it produces less dust. This can be through using chutes on the bottom of bags to carefully place it on the ground, or using digger buckets as opposed to side tippers.
So for our HS2 rail projects, we have a vast amount of noise, vibration and monitoring data because of our activities close to the railway, when we have to monitor for our noise and vibration at various locations along the job, and particularly because of how close a lot of our residents are. As you can see, very close, within 30-40 metres, and that's quite common within London.
We supply the UK Railway with track warning systems. Our systems warn personnel of approaching trains, but as you can see, they're very noisy. So at night, we can switch to visual warning only, which is still great for safety, but even better for our line-side neighbours.
The environment and sustainability pages on Safety Central have some excellent resources to enable us to manage these risks, such as the noise calculator, which can predict noise levels on your project. In the IP Track SNSD team, we've also developed a standard operating procedure which talks you through the steps needed to stipulate whether a Section 61 consent is required.
So we need to think about those line-side neighbours, and we need to get it right, and sometimes in the past we haven't got it right. There's definitely more we can do, and today I'd like you to think about that. Thank you.